So this video is gonna be about 3 rules you have to follow when it comes to exercise with a disc herniation, disc bulge, disc rupture, any of those things. 3 rules you have to follow in the gym, out of the gym, creating a workout program for you. And if you're not sure how to do it, stay tuned because I've got a really cool resource that you'll be able to pick up to fine tune what you should be doing. What is up guys, William here from fitnessforbackpain.com, and I'm super excited to kick this series off. We're gonna be talking about all things exercise with disc herniations, disc bulges, even ruptured discs. So if this is your history, if you've been told that you have multi-levels of disc herniations or disc bulges, or if you're like me and you've ruptured a disc, and whether you've gotten it fixed or you haven't gotten it fixed, doesn't matter. There's gonna be a ton of content covering just overall general rules and regulations, do's and don'ts of exercising with disc issues. We're gonna talk about core training and having disc issues with herniations, bulges, ruptures. Don't talk about specific upper body, lower body training strategies with specific exercises. I'm just super pumped about it. So if this is you, if you fall into the category of disc issues, disc herniations, bulges, ruptures, stay tuned, watch this series. I'm gonna unpack a lot of great stuff starting today. And before we jump in, make sure so you don't miss any of the videos in this series, hit subscribe and turn the bell notifications on. If you are brand new here and you're wanting to learn how to use exercise to overcome pain, you want to learn how to use exercise safely and overcome the fear of moving, the fear of getting back in the gym and exercising again despite any kind of disc issue you may be having, down below here, I've got a free workshop. I'm just gonna pop up right here. It's actually a back pain workshop where I show you exactly how to structure your overall training routine, right? From warm-ups to cool downs to what exercise you should come first, what should you train core first, what should you do when you're actually in pain and exercising. All these things are mapped out for you step by step for you to follow and replicate for yourself at the link in the description here, or you'll see it pop up. Just type it into your browser and you'll be on your way. So the first rule you must follow when it comes to exercising with a disc herniation, disc bulge, disc rupture, whatever you may be experiencing, is to always think about supporting and stabilizing the lower back, right? This kind of goes without saying, but a lot of times you want to do your traditional way of exercise, right? It could be deadlifting, it could be squatting, butt to ground, whatever your theory is on exercise, you want to kind of get back to that. The problem is if you are having some kind of disc herniation or a history of disc issues, you've got to think smart, right? So the idea of stabilizing or focusing on a stable, supported lumbar spine is the idea to take out the exercises that are gonna cause too much flexion, extension, or movement in that lower back, right? We often think about trying to stretch our lower backs. The core exercises that we're doing aren't really focusing on stabilizing lumbar spine. We're doing things like sit-ups, crunches, leg raises, things that are causing a lot of movement in the lower back. On top of that, before you even start working out, people have a bad habit of trying to loosen up their lower back, right? They do some twisting, they do some on the ground leg drops, trying to just stretch and make the lower back more mobile before they start working out. Big mistake. We gotta stop treating the lower back as if it's like the thoracic spine, right? Or the elbow, the shoulder, the hips. The lumbar spine loves to be stable. It likes to be trained stable. If you wanna get back to deadlifts, you wanna get back to squatting, or just basic everyday movements, and you have disc issues, you've got to think about training in a way that's going to learn to stabilize that lower back, picking specific exercises that don't force you into doing things like flexion, extension, twisting in excess, right? Those things aren't inherently dangerous, but if you have a sensitivity right now and you know you have got some disc issues, you got to play it safe and think stabilize and not mobilize. The second rule to training with any kind of disc issue, herniation, bulge, rupture, is you've got to think about how you're structuring your overall workout. And there's really 2 ways that I think about doing this, 2 camps that you might fall in. One is you do heavy lifts. You're a big heavy lifter. You have to focus on those big lifts and only those big lifts, right? And that's all you do. The other camp is your general bodybuilder or strength trainer or whatever you may want to call yourself, but you do overall 45 minutes to an hour overall body strength training routines. Now, in those 2 camps, the key thing is to think about investments, right? You're making investments in your exercise and your workout regimen and your longevity with your disc herniations or ruptures or bulges. Now, if you're the average Joe and you just like to strength train, you like a general 45-minute full body workout, think about saving your big exercises for last, right? We get into whether you're doing some kind of pulling exercise, you're doing some pressing exercises or some lower body exercises, and we think, okay, let's get the squats out of the way. Let's think of getting the deadlifts or the big pulls out of the way. And then we'll do the small stuff like triceps and core training and all the small stuff for the end. I want to challenge you to do the opposite, right? If you have a sensitive disc issue, what I always suggest people to do is always do the small things first, which means start with your core. Focus on core training first, get the body primed for the movement. That's gonna create stability and structure in the trunk and around your spine. From there, do the smaller things, right? If you're gonna do push-ups in your workout, don't save them as a finisher, do them first. The push-ups aren't a very aggressive exercise, but you're still priming and working the body in a way that's gonna, again, get the blood pumping, get your body ready and active and aware of the movements that you're gonna be doing. Now, from there, let's look at deadlifting, or we can look at bench pressing. If bench pressing is kind of a sensitive thing for you, you really can't find a comfortable position due to your disc issues, you started with the push-ups, you've already kind of pre-fatigued the muscles in the body. Now you can go into your heavier lifts, your big lifts, your squats, if you choose to do those, your lunges or your presses, your big pulls, and you're doing them now with less weight because you're kind of already tired, right? You've already kind of pre-fatigued those muscles. Now you're gonna do them with your big lifts. You're not gonna be able to do as heavy as you normally would, which is gonna allow you to have more control and less risk of injury when it comes to really pushing those big lifts. By the time you're 40 minutes into your workout and now it's time to sit down and do your final big lift of the day, again, your body's primed, your body's ready, your core is stable, you've gone through all these exercises, your body's kind of awake and aware of what's going on. So now you can go into these bigger lifts, yes, with less weight, but if you're the average Joe, that doesn't matter. You're not in here competing for some kind of powerlifting competition. No, you just wanna get stronger, look good, and do it pain-free. So core training first, small exercises, accessory type of stuff second, and third and final part of that second point is do your big lifts last. Now, my third rule to exercising with any kind of disc issue, whether it be herniations, bulges, or ruptures, is to be ready to change on the fly. Due to fear, due to worry, anxiety, history, panic, whatever. It could be sciatica, whatever you might be experiencing, due to how this can change within a second, you have to be ready and willing to change on the fly. And not to be frustrated, not to get upset about, oh man, I did these lunges yesterday or 2 days ago and I was fine. I did these bicep curls yesterday or 2 days ago and now when I do them, my back hurts. You've got to be ready to change on the fly because what you want to do is always stay within your pain threshold. Everyone who has chronic back pain, any kind of disc issue has a pain threshold. It's when you always hit that ceiling of threshold and you're pushing past it all the time because you just want to get your workout in or you think pain is weakness leaving the body. So stupid. But if you think that way, you're always gonna be inflamed. You're always gonna be triggering symptoms. So instead of just pushing through it and working through the pain, be ready to change. If you can't do flat bench press that day, totally fine, do incline. Right? If you can't do loaded barbell squats because that's your thing, or you have to do something else like dumbbell rear foot elevated lunges, a great exercise for overall leg and hip development, just as good as squats. If you have to do that instead because it's symptom free, crush it, go after it. Don't be worried about, oh, I'm not doing the squat, I'm not getting my gains, I'm losing it. Don't worry about it. The key to success with a disc issue is to play it smart, play for the long game. A great example of this is playing between high and low rep type of workouts. Okay, sometimes we want to follow more of a traditional 8 to 10, 10 to 12, 12 to 15 type of rep range. But if you find that your body adapts better and it feels good under heavier loads and less reps, do that and focus on that, right? If you do better with higher reps, 12, 15 reps, less load, then do that. Don't get stuck in traditional ways of training or what you have grown up doing or what you read in magazines. Always be willing to adapt to your own specific situation. If you do that, you don't have to worry about doing the wrong thing, right? Because I don't want to sit here and tell you about the things that you can't do. There's lots of things that you can do. It's all about training smart. Now, when it comes to specific exercises for people with disc herniations, there's a laundry list of things that you can do, okay? If you're looking for a structured plan that is specific for fusions, disc herniations, ruptures, bulges, anyone with a history of spinal pain or spinal surgery, I've got what's called the Smart Strength membership. I'll link it down below here. You can go to fitnessforbackpain.com/smart strength. It's actually a membership where I have a lot of students in there right now actually going through strength training workouts pain-free. I focus on only doing exercises that are geared around building strength, endurance, overcoming fear of the exercises, and being able to train despite your low back situation. So if that is you and you're like, dude, you know what, I hear what you're saying, I can follow these 3 rules of exercising with disc issues, but I don't know what exercises to pick. I'm afraid to pick the wrong ones. If that is you, I encourage you to check out that link. I'm confident it will be a great fit for you. And you don't have to worry about putting the workouts together. I do it all for you. All you gotta do is log in, pull it up on your favorite device, cell phone, tablet, desktop, whatever you may have, and follow along to that month's strength training program. All right, so that is it for this episode of the disc issue series. I'm super pumped to just get this information out to you. Again, if you have not already, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell notifications. You're gonna be seeing a lot of disc herniation type of content coming down the pipe. Again, thanks so much for watching, guys. I appreciate you, all the likes, comments, shares, everything that you do. Let me know what you have going on. I really kind of want to get a feel for your history. If you have multiple disc herniations, bulges, ruptures, if you've had a fusion or you had herniations fixed, let me know in the comment section below where you are and what you're having issues with. This whole series is gonna be for you. So the more I know where you are at, the more content that I can build for you specifically. Thanks again, and I'll see you on the next episode.